All right, all right, all right. Listen, I am back. I am back. I am back. Boy, I am back. I am ready for this 12 o'clock. I hope you guys are. Hope this Monday is going well for you. Man, just over the weekend, someone didn't make it. Somebody didn't make it, and we did. So we have a lot to be thankful for. I know I do. I know I do. Let's see. I'm just getting some stuff together. I'm waiting for you guys to join. And, it's gonna be good. I promise you that. I promise you that. Let's see. All right. Hey, let's see. See if you can go into the chat and leave me a message, and I'm gonna see if I'll be able to receive it. I remember at 8 o'clock. I remember um, there was a lot of messages, and believe it or not, I wasn't able to see any of it. So I'm still kind of, you know, trying to get my bearings together. But nevertheless, we're here, and we're ready. So just a quick recap. We are in week 5 of this ABCs of a Successful Marriage. I do want to take a chance, a moment right now, and thank you guys for being here. Thank you for making this uh, eventful, pleasurable. It's been good. It's been, God has been showing up and showing out in so many different ways. Personally, some things have been happening that, that I can't wait to really give the full testimony of what God has been doing, and some of the things that I've been believing for, have has been coming to pass. Some of the things that I prayed for, and honestly, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I really believe that it's because of the obedience. That's the only way I can put it. I believe it's because of the obedience, and God is saying that I am. He's finding my sacrifice. He's saying that my sacrifice is worthy. So I'm very humbled by that. But I also have I've been getting reports that from on your side that this has been blessing, a blessing. Reports of families being put back together. And guys, there's nothing more precious to me, than people deciding to stay in the fight, and continue the race, and I'm getting messages saying that, something like, my husband and I was divorced for, X amount of years, and we, he was watching, I was watching, whoever was watching, but they decided, to give it another chance. People telling me that they were on their way to divorce court. All hope was gone, and they came across this program, and it changed their lives. They decided to give it another chance, and when I tell you that it is nothing short of a blessing, oh my Lord, it just does something to me, because it just proves to me, reiterates to me that that God, when God told me to just go and just do it, when I felt in my heart that I said, man, it's hopeless. I really did feel that way. I said, nobody really cares anymore. Nobody cares anymore. I'm like, God, why do you want me to speak? And all the messages that you will have me to speak on your behalf. This is what you want me to do. Because I felt like it was a bitter cup. And I said, God, if there's any other way, take this cup from me. Don't make me drink of this cup, because not because of me, being hard for me, because this has been in my heart for years. I'm talking about my first ministry in this area was probably over 20 years ago, and and I failed sometimes, but I always got back up, and but I've been doing this. I've been doing this a while, so it wasn't surprising. But when you come through a divorce, and then God said, "Yeah, now we finna go to another level," and I said, "God, anything but this," because I felt hopeless, and I really felt like the fight, the gender fight, the fight, the keeping together of husband and wife, that holy thing. I felt like it was hopeless. I felt like no one cared. I really did. And to get these reports and saying, Eric, man, from watching your broadcast, man, we decided to give it another chance. Even as bad as this morning broadcast was, bad to me. I mean, because listen, if you don't know, then I'm working on some things. I'm getting some things straight. My studio should be set up and working soon. So there's a lot of things that I'm figuring out. A lot of things I'm working with new places, working with new technology, which is the place don't really matter. But when you're trying to integrate new technology, you feel you're starting all over again, And so sometimes you just like to be in your comfortable place, but that's a whole nother story. God is, saying, hey, we're gonna elevate you. But even this morning, just more testimony to come. More things to just go to God and say, you know what, God, you did it again. You showed up and you showed out, and you proved to me that that you had my back. So guys, we started this thing out um, 5 weeks ago. This is day 29, but this is 5 weeks ago. We started out the 1st of August. Man, man, listen, we jumped on this thing and we hit the ground running. We laid a foundation saying that men and women were meant to be together. We needed to lay down that foundation because we felt like if we didn't start there, if we didn't come to that understanding, of that, then there was no need to even go any further. Okay, we felt like we had to lay down that foundation to get on the same page, and then we went into accountability. We went into protection. And guys, we're talking about why the power to. Why did God send them those disciples out? 2 by 2. Why did He do it that way? God could have did it any way that He chose to do it, but He said, He unveiled to me unveiled to me in the course of 9 years, why he sent them out two by two. And this, what you're witnessing now, is man, you know what? I'm just gonna say this because I done got smart enough to know that it might be the end and the all of what I see, but because I really did think that the power of two is what God just had me to do. But now I'm realizing that the power of two, that great book, you know, was just the beginning. It was just the foundation. Because who would have ever thought that we can take that revelation and then become and now we're talking about the ABCs of a successful marriage. We're talking about making this thing less complicated. Now, marriage does not have to be this complicated, but but why does it? Why is it so complicated? Well, we make it complicated. We do that, and we're gonna continue to preach that message because marriages, families is not falling victim over and over. They're falling, period. But we what we want to do here, we just want to make sure that you understand that, man, that there's a battle that's happening now, and that battle is going to happen whether you believe it or not. That battle is going to happen. Yeah, you're going to have times where you feel like all is good. Man, there's nothing better than that honeymoon phase. But just like you are in that comfort of your honeymoon, and everything is so great and everything is just so perfect, what you're going to be realizing is that during your downtime is when Satan is really kicking it in and saying, man, I can't wait to destroy what God put together. I can't wait to, this is what Satan is saying. Satan is saying, man, I got a bullseye on that marriage. I can't wait to destroy it. But what he don't know is that there's a book out there called The Power to the ABCs of a Successful Marriage. And a new workbook companion that's going to solidify, just going to empower you, to where when listen, understand this, man, this work is not, it's not a work of literature that says, man, I'm going to read this book and it's going to solve my marriage. Nope. Sorry. There's other books out there for that, man. But this is a tool to where if you need a foundation to stand on to say, man, what is it that I need to do to keep from falling victim to divorce? You need this book. You need it, man. Just so I won't forget, we are having a retreat. It's called Better Together. The Better Together retreat, man. It's gonna be imperative that you attend. The spaces are limited, man. Listen, I wanted to create a very small, intimate setting to where we can have some intimate grown folks conversations about how to fortify your marriage. A couple of days ago, maybe a week ago, my sister Vicky talked about Nehemiah being on the wall and how dedicated he was. And then I pointed out, because as she was talking about that passage of work, I started thinking about that the reason why Nehemiah was so dedicated and the reason why he was on that wall, making that stand to rebuild. And it was so perfect but Nehemiah was looking at the walls of Jerusalem, and he said that there's gaps in this wall. There's places where the enemy can come in and destroy the children of Israel. And what I'm saying to you right now, there's some gaps in your wall. And first of all, if you don't recognize them, you're going to fall victim. And you have to understand that those gaps are there. You need to go in and repair the gaps. You say, Eric, I just got married. I only been married a year. There's no gaps in my wall. There's gaps there. Oh, buddy, you better best believe that there are gaps. There are gaps in your wall that you have no idea. And listen, the gaps is not the problem. Listen to what I want you to understand that gaps are not your problem. The gaps, I'm going to say it again, the gaps is not your problem. Your problem is that you do not perceive the gap. You do not recognize or acknowledge the fact that you have the gaps. That's what your problem is. You're thinking that you're okay. You're thinking that everything is good. And sir, ma'am, that is where your problem comes in at. That's how we are falling and marriages are ending, is because we did not go in like Jeremiah and say, let me fortify myself. Let me fortify this wall. Let me make sure that we are approachable. Yes, Satan can come, but he can't get through. And see, I just remember those days when one second, did somebody said I wasn't gonna do. Okay, I remember those days when Satan came in, when in the beginning, where people would tell me, Eric, man, listen, everything will be okay. Everything, I know you're worried about your marriage, but don't worry about it. Man, it's gonna get better after a year. And I waited a year. I said, man, I can hold on a year. What I didn't know is that I had gaps. I had gaps in the wall. But I say, man, if I can just hold on, it'll be okay. That's what they was telling me. You just hold on. And then a year passed, and I went back and I said, man, I waited a year and it's still just as bad. Just hold on, Eric. Don't you worry about it. It's going to get better. Now, my question to you is this. How is it going to get better if I don't pull out tools and resources to make it better? How? Somebody answer me. Listen, I don't know. I can't see nothing. I'm blind right now, because this new system that I'm working, hey, marriage don't have to be complicated. They should have made this platform not complicated, because I don't see anything. Okay, but I'm going to get better. But my thing is this. How would your marriage get better if you do not go out and get tools and resources? Somebody answer that. How would that happen? How would you get better? See, I thought time was gonna heal things. I thought time was gonna make it better, because after a year it didn't, then 3 years it didn't, then 5 years it didn't, then now we into 10 years and it didn't get better. How? I submit to you this. It didn't get better. It would never get better unless you get tools and resources in order to make it better. Somebody told me, they said that, I'm going to take time to heal. And they said, if you don't add, if you don't add, I'm just going to say tools and resources into the process of time, then it will still never get better. But we was always told that time would heal. In time I would be healed. In time I would get better. No, if you don't get healed, if you don't go out there and get the tools and the resources that's necessary for your healing, then you just have wasted time, because you're going to be the same person at the beginning of time, because nothing stressed you to change. And half of you thinking that is your spouse that needs to change, or your ex-spouse at this point. No, it's you. It's you. You're wasting your time again thinking that thinking that that somebody was all the problem. And anybody that tells me this during my coaching, I can always recognize the culprit, and that culprit always identifies himself by pointing the finger at the other person. They always say, "Oh, he's the problem, she's the problem," and then I say, "Yep, I know who the problem is here." Now, I'm not saying that the other person don't have no blame, but ain't nobody gonna carry all the blame in the relationship, because God sent y'all out two by two for a reason. Y'all are accountable to each other. Y'all supposed to protect each other. These are the reasons. Man, we're on 5 revelations. Now, and motivate. You're supposed to motivate each other. That was the 4th revelation. We just got out of that one, and then here we are on number 5, the 5th revelation, and that's correction. This morning we talked about A was for accurate. You know how in this revelation, we're going to be showing some things, some different things, because we're going to be talking about how we're going to be talking about correction. And I know that most people don't like to receive correction, but we're going to talk about in correction, we're going to talk about the importance of how to receive correction, and also how to give correction. But we're going to be doing it in a sense, so letting you know how important it is if you want to have a successful marriage. You guys, listen, it's going to come, so you might as well get prepared for it. So we're at the 12 o'clock hour. Let me see what time it is. Okay. All right, we good. Okay, I'm about to be finished, guys. I thought I was going long because all this stuff for this that I'm dealing with. But I wish I can see posts, but I can't. Okay. Now, here we are, 12 o'clock hour, and B is for Berate. Okay, and listen, on my notes, I got something that's real simple. I say, don't do that. That's something you don't do. Okay, listen, one of the worst things that you can do to your partner, your spouse, however you want to look at, because this right here goes down, your business partner, any relationship that you're in. But we're talking about marriage. Man, if you want a good way to destroy something that's good, man, start berating your spouse. Start berating. Some of you guys are some of your marriages is horrible right now, simply because you don't know how to keep your mouth from spitting out venom. You too hard, and you don't. And my girl Tracy told me that I was trying to think of a phrase, and I think it went something like, "You catch more flies with honey than vinegar." And I think that phrase right now is so fitting, because I want you to understand that when it comes to correction, there's a right way to do it. And listen, man, looking at my notes, and I got it right down here. Man, one of the worst things that you can do is berate your partner, your spouse. How can you do that? How can you listen? We're talking about the power that you have together, the power of that union. Man, you have to understand, we're talking about the power that you and your spouse have together. Listen, in the beginning, when God started revealing to me the 8 revelations 9 years ago, it was real simple. Man, I see it now more than I seen it then. But God was just simply saying that there's going to be some opposition to what you're doing. It's going to be some opposition to the message, and there's going to be some opposition to the marriage. There's gonna be opposition, and sometimes that opposition, can come from within. Yes, yes, it can. Sometimes you can get derailed by something you did. But what I want you to understand that there's some ways you can do this thing, and the ways you should do it, and they don't automatically line up with the word of God. When you listen, if you want to do a thing right, you better find out, what the word of God say on that. You better, because see, there's a spirit, holiness that we should have in our marriage to where we can be able to just step back. There's two things I want you to understand when we're talking about berating, be it for berate. I want you to understand that, as the person that's receiving it, and sometimes I don't want you to misunderstand somebody that's that's correcting you and meaning it to be something a personal attack, because you understand this very clear. In a relationship, there's going to be some correcting that's going on because we have a vision. See, the man, the spirit, the theme of this week that we're going to be dealing with is correction. You spare the rod, and you're going to spoil the vision. You spare that rod, and you will spoil the vision. It is imperative that you understand that there's a right way and a wrong way to correct, but you will have to correct. Why? Because the vision is important. You guys started out on a mission, and somewhere, somehow, somebody veered off and they got out of focus. Man, it's your job to bring correction, to bring back to the focus that the family set forth. It's so important. I can't listen. You're gonna have to receive correction. You're gonna have to be. That's why you get together on a weekly basis. If you got to get together daily, y'all check in with each other daily. But you should not go past a week without a check-in. You shouldn't go a week without a date, and you shouldn't go a week without a check-in, where you guys check in with each other and make sure that you're on the right track. And when you identify yourself as being on the wrong track, then that's when correction is going to kick in. Correction in this context is saying, listen, we realize that one of us, or maybe even both of us, have veered off from the vision that we set forth for the family. It's my job. We established this in the beginning. You gave me every right when you said I do to correct you when it comes to the family vision, and that's vice versa. You gave me the listen. There's not a woman out there that doesn't have a voice or should not have a voice enough to correct her husband when he veers off the vision of the family. There's not a man's voice that should be silenced when he recognizes that the vision of the family is in jeopardy. He is supposed to say something. How do I know that? Well, I seen it in the garden. I seen Adam not protect the vision. Yeah, he knew the vision. God gave him the vision. Hey, Adam, you can do all of this right here, but don't you do that. That was a vision. Don't you eat from that tree. That was a vision. What do Adam do? He goes and he sit there and watch his wife go away from the vision. and God dealt with them. Because so it's important, guys, that you stay focused on the vision. Listen, my time is up. Man, so let me give a disclaimer. I don't want to give an excuse, but I'm going to give a disclaimer. I've been moving since Saturday. It's been nonstop. Okay. This is why I'm talking about a lot of this stuff is not just set up right. But I also can say that I am extremely tired, but I am also extremely dedicated to giving you this information simply because I'm very. It's important to me. Let me just say that it's important that because I don't want any of you to ever lose focus and end up divorcing when it's not that complicated. So we gotta have these conversations, and so we gotta have them because I'm getting too many reports back and saying, Eric, it's a good thing. So so this disclaimer is just simply saying, man, at some point, and I don't know when it is. Maybe it's tonight at 6, or maybe it's gonna be 6 days from now. I don't know. But when I tell you this, I'm tired. Believe me, okay? But I'm tired, but I'm dedicated all at the same time. And this right here means a lot to me, and I hope it means something to you. Guys, listen. I'm going to the description. You're gonna see some links and some websites, all that type stuff. Do what your heart desires. Do what God you feel God is leading you to do. Whether is going to the website and purchasing from the website. Whether you you requesting information about the Better Together retreat. Okay, maybe that's what you're supposed to be doing. Or maybe you want to just sow a seed into the ministry, and you say, Eric, just keep up the good work. $1, $2, doesn't matter, because it's not about what I receive, because I'm already receiving my blessing. I promise you that. But I believe that um, you can sow a seed according to what you're believing God for. Okay. And if you feel led to do that, then that's between you and God. That has nothing to do with me. Okay, that's between you and God. All right. So guys, listen, it's my prayer and my desire to come back on at 6 o'clock tonight. Okay. Um, we're going to be introducing the C. So today we talked about accurate, and B was for Berate, and C is for can't tell you. Okay, um, but it's gonna be good. Okay. So anyway, guys, thanks for joining. When I get off here, I'm gonna look at the any and see if there's any questions or whatever comments. I just wanted to let you know that I couldn't see them, but I am working on a way to where we can get this worked out. Okay. So anyway, guys, see you at